Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we have been monitoring closely up here on the Kenyan Daily Report, is the fight that is currently unfolding and the scuffle that is unfolding between the ODM party, where James Orengo and Raila Amolo Odinga have sincerely fallen out right now. But allow me to explain to you in regards to the intelligence report that we are receiving on the beginning of this battle between Raila Amolo Odinga and James Orengo. James Orengo and Raila Amolo Odinga's fight did not start at George Oduor's burial. This fight began immediately after Raila Amolo Odinga lost the AU chairmanship election. Why am I saying so? If you all remember, after Raila Amolo Odinga lost the AU seat, a lot of conversation were ongoing on social media. Many people spoke on a possible alliance between Raila Amolo Odinga and Rigathi Gachagua. And a screenshot was leaked of a WhatsApp group called the Tungati WhatsApp group. The WhatsApp group comprises of Rigathi Gachagua and his members, who have been his supporters, mostly members of parliament from the Mount Kenya region. Now, in that WhatsApp group, Rigathi Gachagua had a message that he mentioned the name of James Orengo there. He said in the said WhatsApp group, I have had a phone call with James Orengo, and we are going to visit Siaya, where we are going to start campaigning for Raila Amolo Odinga and to smear William Ruto and taint his name for lying to Raila Amolo Odinga that he will make him the AU chairman. Remember that screenshot. We talked about it here on the Kenyan Daily Report. Now, when that conversation was leaked, a lot of people assumed it, and a lot of people thought that it was just a mere creation of propaganda that were being speculated on social media. But now, it has come to our attention that the said conversation between James Orengo and Rigathi Gachagua actually happened. And James Orengo was convinced by the likes of Rigathi Gachagua that if Raila Amolo Odinga returns into the country and joins them in opposition, they will give him the flag for becoming their flag bearer in the 2027 general election, and they are sure that they will make Raila Amolo Odinga the president. Are we together? But when James Orengo spoke with Raila Amolo Odinga after Raila Amolo Odinga lost, Raila was not having it. He was not listening to what James Orengo had to say. And so James Orengo went to take a backseat and observe how Raila Amolo Odinga is going to deal with the situation and the aftermath of him losing the African Union chairmanship. After losing the AU seat, Raila proceeded to Dubai, where he was joined by his loyal supporters, people like Akina Ali Hassan Joho, the governor of Kisii Simba Arati, Junet Mohammed, and some few other individuals. And these individuals who joined Raila Amolo Odinga in Dubai are people that were in government, because most of them Akina governor, former governor of Mombasa, Ali Hassan Joho, had joined the government last year after the Gen Z demonstration. So they couldn't listen to anything contrary to Raila Amolo Odinga working with William Ruto. And so they convinced Baba that we are currently enjoying the benefit of being in government. Why should we throw it under the bus for somebody that is promising us something that he himself is trying? He is taking a risk. He doesn't know whether they will dethrone William Ruto come the year 2027. But to James Orengo, he believed that the statement or the promise that Gachagua had given him was a genuine promise, and that promise would have resulted to something positive for Raila Amolo Odinga as he completes his career, that Raila Odinga would have become the president in the year 2027. So when Raila came back to the country, met with William Ruto at in State House Mombasa, and they talked and they had a conversation. Raila spoke to the public and told them that he is going to do public engagement with the supporters of ODM to consult on the way forward in regards to the party matters. Now, Raila started touring different areas in the country immediately after that, after arriving in the country. And within 1 week, Raila had gone to Kisumu, to Siaya, to Migori, to Homa Bay, to Busia. But in the whole tour that Raila did, every moment that he went on with James Orengo, Orengo tried to convince Raila Amolo Odinga that he shouldn't join the government. He shouldn't rush into signing the memoranda of understanding. James Orengo was also supported by the party leader, the current party leader of ODM, that is Governor of Kisumu, Anyang' Nyong'o. So they were telling Raila, don't sign that memoranda. Just keep on hanging around the government, but preparing on how you will launch your campaign for the 2027 general election. But Raila, having suffered a lot, he had lost all hopes. So he decided, you know what? I will go ahead and sign the MOU. Contrary to what he was being advised by the senior members, like Akina James Orengo, Anyang' Nyong'o, the Secretary General of ODM, Edwin Sifuna, and the rest. So Raila betrayed them. And that is why when Orengo heard that Raila was going to sign that MOU, he tried to contact him, but Raila couldn't pick his calls. Raila was not having anything that Orengo was saying. He was not listening to whatever Orengo was telling him. And he proceeded to sign the MOU. Now, the MOU is supposed to become, is supposed to tame the attacks from the ODM party. But we see James Orengo has refused to tame his mouth. He has refused to hold his horses against William Ruto. And that is why we come to a conclusion that James Orengo currently, remember, the ODM party, even the members of ODM party, are currently divided into two. And I told you the other day that this is the same thing that happened back in the year 1992 when Ford Kenya was divided into Ford Asili and Ford Kenya. Jaramogi went with Ford Kenya, Kenneth Matiba went with what? With Ford Asili. And the person that left was who? Kenneth Matiba. And Kenneth Matiba went to become, he won the election, though the election was stolen from him in 1992. Now, what is happening might lead to a division in ODM. And James Orengo, as the governor of Siaya, he will walk out of ODM with a lot of people. He will go ahead to start his own party. Let me tell you, there are some, people who don't consume history. You cannot tell me that you believe without Raila Amolo Odinga, James Orengo would be nobody. Let me tell you, James Orengo started his political career by himself. He forged his path by himself. Started from being the student leader of UON. Akapigana, akapambana, akaungana na kina Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, akina Gitovu Manyara, akina the former governor of Meru, Kiraito Murongi. They fought, akina Martha Karua, they fought, akina Paul Muite, together they moved forward. They created their political careers from the scratch. So those saying that James Orengo without Raila Amolo Odinga is nothing, I dare tell you that if history was to be written correctly, James Orengo has more credit, has a more politically decorated portfolio against that of Raila Amolo Odinga. Why am I saying this? Yes, I'm a lover of Raila Amolo Odinga. I've supported Raila Amolo Odinga all my life. But Raila Amolo Odinga if it's not for the name of his father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, where would Raila Amolo Odinga be right now? If it's not the name of his father. Raila Amolo Odinga was the son of a vice president. The father to James Orengo, we have not had his family having a dynasty legacy like the Oginga family. So this man built himself from the scratch, and he vied for the presidential seat in the year 2002 before coming to join hands with Raila Amolo Odinga. And even the father to Raila Amolo Odinga saw the potential in James Orengo more than he saw the potential in his son Raila Amolo Odinga. And that's why I'm telling you, if he walks out of ODM, the man will have a cult-like following. And then he will not go alone. He is going to join the opposition. And the Luo votes will be divided into two, those of James Orengo and those of Raila Amolo Odinga. The Raila Amolo Odinga people are the illiterates that think everything is about swearing your loyalty to somebody that cashes on it every time it feels like. Because Raila Amolo Odinga has cashed on our loyalty as his supporters for a very long time. He has cashed on it. We cannot deny that. He has cashed on our loyalty for the longest time possible. So it's high time you realize that James Orengo is currently standing on the right side of history. And the intelligence that Ruto is being given by the NIS is that Orengo is in conversation with the opposition. He is talking with Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua, and they are planning on how to receive him if he is definitely kicked out of ODM party. And when he walks out of ODM party, he will walk out with a lot of people, Akina Sifuna and the rest. Let me tell you why. The intellectuals in ODM, they themselves don't believe in whatever nonsense Raila Amolo Odinga side between him and William Ruto. They believe that was a violation of the trust that people have in them. But they can't say anything. They can't go against Raila, so they have to keep quiet. But when they get a chance on somebody that is going to stand against this impunity, they will also get the energy to stand against Raila Amolo Odinga and walk out on Raila Amolo Odinga. So currently, the State House is in panic, and Raila is in panic on what James Orengo might cause. For now, that's what's up. Tell me what's your take.